Getting the kids ready for school is usually a fairly frantic time. There's breakfast to be made, shoes to be found. You've got to make sure they're wearing their jacket. For bigger families, there's the all-important head count to make sure no one is left behind. In Jin Mo's case, his head count is more akin to a drill. Kim is the proud father of 47 children, aged 5 to 17. Only he's a dad of quite a different kind. All of Kim's kids are adopted. On a visit to China from his native South Korea, Kim witnessed the harsh conditions faced by orphans here in the southern Guangxi-Zhong Autonomous Region. So he embarked on what some would say was a crazy scheme.
I visited some orphans in the county back then. When I was through what they have been through every day, I decided to build them a family.
In 2002, armed with all his savings, he registered an orphanage with the local authorities. He started taking in homeless children, those who'd lost their parents or whose relatives could no longer care for them. Kim said despite his good intentions, at first locals were sceptical. Some doubted his motives. Others were simply wary of this quiet, unapproachable foreigner.
He barely talked to us. Once the kids got into the orphanage from school, he just shut the gate. Even when we met and greeted him, he just smiled and didn't talk.
Unfazed, Kim carried on. In 2004, with the support of the local government, he renovated the orphanage, creating 3 stories. And the single father soon had an ally in his mission, Li Lianhua. In 2011, they married.
When Kim came to ask me for work for him as the interpreter, I agreed to work for 2 years. However, as time went on, I was touched by his efforts and married him.
Now 10 years on, together the couple have raised around 80 children, watching many go on to college or enter the workforce.
Here are so many kids like me. At first, I was afraid that my dad and mom might not be able to support all of us. But as you see, they made it. They take care of every one of us.
Aware of the stigma the kids may sometimes face, and as a show of just how much their family means to them, Kim and Lee have called the orphanage Lingchuan Love Family.
Other children may tease or look down upon the kids here when they learn that they are from an orphanage. To prevent such circumstances, we changed the name to Love Family to protect the kids from being verbally or psychologically hurt.
As any big family will know, keeping things running smoothly requires an early start. Every morning, Kim wakes the children at 6:20 a.m. Meal times have to run like clockwork. With 47 children to manage, being organised is key. After waving the kids off to school, the couple get busy with the day's chores. Kim's off to buy groceries, while Lee begins a marathon session of housework. Even with school finished for the day, there's no slacking off for anyone. Chores in this house are an all-hands-on-deck affair. Each child is part of a roster. After school, those on duty help out with the housework.
We work in turns. We wash our girls' clothes every Monday, and the boys wash theirs on Thursday and so on forth. Sometimes we worry that children may get lazy as they don't need to do farm work here like they would in their hometowns. When the kids are on vacation, we ask them to go back to their families and relatives to lend a hand with farm work.
Despite monthly government subsidies and donations, with so many mouths to feed and children to educate, it's hard to make ends meet. Twice a year, Kim goes back to South Korea to do part-time work. He and Lee still find money to offer their brood the opportunities other children have, including ones like this. In July 2007, the couple saved 90,000 yuan, around $14,700 to take some of the children back to South Korea on holiday. A highlight? Disneyland.
Many of these kids have never been out of this small county. I want them to see what the outside world looks like. Through trips like this, I hope I can broaden their horizons and enrich their minds.
16-year-old Mang Jie is from one of the poorest villages in this province. He arrived here aged 10.
Back in my hometown, I lived with my relatives. When I moved here, Kim treated me like his own child. It felt like home.
Now boarding at middle school, Meng often comes back to visit his adopted mum and dad.
I will work hard and find a decent job. One day I want to repay my dad and mom.
And Meng isn't the only one.
I built this family not for any sort of repayment. I just want to look after them and send them into society when they are grown up. I'll feel gratified if they can become useful in society.
While the couple may say they're not due any repayment, it's clear these kids see it very differently.
你们在我心中永远是最伟大的爸爸妈妈。
爸爸妈妈，我爱你。爸爸妈妈，我爱你。